Hey everybody, let's talk about the number 86. Hello, this is Pookie. We are back. Let me get my face out of the way. Today is a special day. It is April 5th, and for those that have been following along, that means that it is our 3-month milestone for the 3-month portfolio P&L for the team. So January 5th, we started the Rags to Riches team so that others could participate and demonstrate that it's not just me that can do this stuff. So let me just go ahead and pull up the spreadsheet here, and I'll kind of walk you through what I did today. So this is my sheet, obviously. Every Friday, we kind of go through everybody's sheet and kind of see who's in need of help and who's got their own plans, and kind of just touch base with the team. So we've got a whole bunch of tabs on the sheet for the different team members, and some people didn't participate, unfortunately. Some people were green, and some people were red. So let's go ahead and just take a look at the numbers and what they represent, and you'll see why I'm so excited, because this is the day where we establish proof of concept as sorry, I couldn't find my window. We established proof of concept to kind of empirically prove that people from all walks of life, all levels of experience, different portfolio sizes, all the different variables all come together and give us a definitive result. And that result is that out of the 21 people that qualify, so meaning, we've got like these guys who didn't participate, or Panoramic here withdrew, and we talked, it's fine. But it wouldn't be appropriate for me to include these numbers because they're just blank sheets. So out of the 21 people that participated, 86% of them, so 18 out of 21 people, had green 3-month portfolio growth. Okay. And what that means, I include myself, obviously, because, it counts. So 17 out of the 20 people that matter. So yeah, that's insane, right? And the only reason that these guys didn't get counted is because, like I said, they didn't participate, or they couldn't participate, or they withdrew and didn't have enough data. The only kind of outlier here is Mr. Breckle, who I love. This is nothing against him, but he's kind of deviating a little bit by not doing any contributions, which is fine. That's his plan, and that's what works for him. So I don't want him to ever feel pressured into this stuff, but just understand that that does affect the numbers because it does make him red. And he's got some drawdown, and he's doing some active speculation, so that's kind of working against him. But even still, he's reduced his risk quite a bit, and he's been taking the safer approach to things. So in my book, he's green, but as far as this is concerned, his P&L kind of red. And then there's these two, Mule and Yojo. Again, love Mule to death. If this whole project was just for one person to succeed, I'm glad it's going to be Mule. He's got the most analytical potential, I think, of anybody I've ever met. But he started officially documenting his stuff on March 15th. He joined the team. And it's just not enough data to really be part of this, right? So these guys mostly started in January, February. Doctor, I wrote down here 329, but he actually started January 5th. He started on the other spreadsheet before we switched it over, so we can ignore that number right there. That's why he qualifies. He's one of the OGs. So if we go ahead and look through this list here, we can see that 86 of these guys and gals. Like Fergie here is incredible, and she started the week after on January, or no, I think she started on the sheet too. Either way, started early. 18 people, right? So almost 90% have had green portfolio growth just from being on this team and just having a few simple boundaries in place and a little bit of patience. And 90% of the market loses, or 90% of the traders in the market lose and don't survive the first 2 years. These guys are green within their first 3 months. That's insane. And it's not, nobody's been looking at charts. Nobody's been doing heavy speculation. Nobody's been using all these crazy indicators and stuff. It's just some basic common sense rules, a little bit of patience, and consistent contributions, and just not giving back more than you put in so it can grow. And then you can make that value meaningful by doing things like dividends and other passive income. That's the rock solid foundation that'll continue to grow. And then if they want to incorporate speculation on top of that and make it a little bit more efficient, absolutely. But that speculation should never make or break any trader. And that's where we see a lot of the traders wash out of the market, because that's all they rely on, because they don't know any better. So if I just go down this list here really quick, I'm going to skip over myself because obviously you guys are pretty familiar with me, but I kind of want to just introduce these guys and gals. ABC123 is one of our longer members in the Discord. These are all green in this top group here. He's been running mostly cash secured puts, and he's got some broker obstacles. He's kind of in the middle of transitioning between two brokers and finding out what he can do and what he can't do on them. Yeah, shows up all the time. He gets it. So his approach is slightly less aggressive. So he's just doing cash secured puts in the hopes that he'll get assigned eventually. I think he's had a couple assignments, but they're very small. So he's not putting a ton of his money into risk. He's just kind of getting his feet wet with the cash secured puts. And, you know, fortunately, he hasn't been assigned a whole bunch, so he doesn't have to try to think on his feet or anything like that. So it's a nice, easy, slow approach for him. It's working out really well. I talked to him this morning. He's pretty confident and comfortable, and he's kind of looking to expand a little bit. So that's awesome. Onrad, also one of the OGs. This guy's been all over the place. Love him. He's green, but he does have a red realized P&L, and that's mostly so when you sell stuff, that's when you realize a profit or a loss. That's when you turn it back into cash. So he has a red realized P&L, but it's less than the contributions and the growth that he's been having. So he's green overall, and that's the important part of this, is that you can still lose. You can still get your butt handed to you on stocks, but your portfolio will continue to grow, and that provides extra income over time as that portfolio grows, because you can get into things like dividends and passive income. Onrad is great. Love him. Bebnet, one of the OGs. He's been with us for a very long time. He's one of the original alumni members as well. This guy gets it. You know, he obviously had a few, not to expose anybody, I'm not like putting anyone's dirty laundry out there, but he was pretty frustrated. He tried the speculative side, and it, you know, had some roadblocks, and it didn't work for him. So he took a step back, worked around it, and here we are. So he's doing great. Mr. Chag, also red realized P&L. That's again from selling shares and locking stuff in, which is okay, right? Because we kind of want that. But good overall growth altogether. And if I pull up these sheets here, you guys can see the value. Sorry, the difference in values here. So ABC is again, he doesn't really have any holdings because just these two, because he's been doing the cash secured puts. But if we look at someone like Onrad here, you can see he started with 2673. He's up to 3323. So that's about a $650 difference there for really not doing much. Bebnet here started at 945. He's up to 1300. Breckle started at, again, 10,450. He's down to 9868, but that's, you know, he's not making contributions, and he's got drawdown and some speculation kind of getting chipping away at that number. But those will come back. He knows what he's doing. Not worried about him at all. Mr. Chag started at 452, and now he's up to almost $1,600. Now you can see here the contributions column as well, just for transparency here. These people are mostly adding money into the portfolio and just not giving that amount or more in return. So he's just letting it grow, letting it save, letting it build up, putting it into passive income, stable growth positions, dividends, things like that. So phase one is to get everybody from red to green for 3 months. Then phase two is going to be to focus on that P&L and tighten that up. Okay, and that'll be the more hands-on part, I think. So Duco again started just over 2,000. He's almost up to 2,800 right now. Fergie started at 827. She's up to 1084. So these aren't like super tiny gains here. These guys are increasing. You know, this is 3 or 4 times the size he started with. It's really good stuff. And this is another member, K Get Wealthy. He's had quite a few obstacles in his way, and he's just figured it out. You know, he's worked around it, and he's decided what works, what doesn't work, and he just decided to take a different approach, and it's awesome. Maestro also started back in February, early February, as far as recording stuff goes. He's a relatively new member to the Discord compared to some of these guys, but, you know, he picked it up real fast. It's good stuff. And, you know, like I said, none of these guys are really doing anything that's super technical. Like, nobody's looking at charts all day. Nobody's trading, like, super complicated spreads like iron condors or anything like that. Nobody's, you know, developing their own technical analysis strategy with, like, the parabolic SAR and Bollinger Bands and all that stuff. Like, nobody's really looking at charts unless they want to. And then the result of that doesn't make the account lose money as a whole. It continues to grow, it continues to build, and that's what matters. And less is more. Like, some of these guys haven't traded all week. Their stuff's still just growing. So it's pretty good. Joker's Wild, he's one of the OGs as well. We talk in another DM slash Discord group, so he didn't put his stuff on the spreadsheet, which and that's okay, right? I just kind of wanted to get to this 3-month milestone just so we could see, just so we can assess it quarterly, so we can see who's got a 3-month P&L that's green, and then you move up to the 6-month. So who's still red for their 6-month P&L? Then we fix that, and then we start looking at the same time we start looking at who's red on their realized P&L, and then we can fix that, and so on and so forth. It's just nice. All right, so these 4, again, I didn't feel it was appropriate to include their numbers because they just didn't participate or they didn't have enough data. Like this guy participated, but he only put like 2 rows on the spreadsheet, so that wouldn't really be meaningful. You know, whether it was green or red, it just wouldn't be meaningful enough. And same with Mule. Like Mule, I'm sure is probably green by now. He's a very conservative trader, but I don't have enough data. So same with Yojo. It's just an empty sheet. Or very few rows. I forget which one it is. Yeah, so I wanted to just take a special episode here and just thank these guys and gals just for making this possible, because one of the biggest critiques that we get as experienced traders is that when we try to teach something or we show our portfolios or we show the results of what we're doing, it's very easy to people to disconnect from that and say, I can't do that because I don't have 10 years experience, right? Or I don't know everything about technical analysis, you know? And the whole purpose of this project, the original intent, was just to demonstrate that you don't need that stuff. You don't need 10 years experience. You don't need technical analysis. You don't need to look at charts all day. You don't need to buy and sell every 5 minutes. You don't need a whole bunch of stuff. You don't need a bunch of money either. You just make consistent contributions when you can and focus mostly on saving that and just letting it grow and letting it go out and get more money for you. It's not a I have to throw everything in the market all the time to make money kind of approach. And you can see, again, just I'm kind of in shock. Honestly, I was expecting maybe like 60 to 70% of the people to go from red to green. But the fact that we have 18 out of 21 people, or 86% of these team members, that have a solid green 3-month P&L for doing less is insane. I'm surprised. I'm happy. Obviously, I'm proud of all of them. But I wasn't expecting all of them to take it so seriously and just kind of let the process work. So if you or someone you know, you or a loved one, is currently struggling in the stock market, or if you are running into that wall of, I can't figure out speculation, I need to trade options now and get it all back, you know, if that's you or someone you know, consider a more logical approach, something that is more stable. Doesn't mean you have to. I'm just saying this is worth considering at the very least. And you could still speculate on top of that if you want to. But this is proof. Again, it's not just me doing it. These guys are all different. Like, we're all different age groups. We all have different size portfolios. You know, we all have different contributions. We all have different trading styles. We all have, you know, some people just don't look at charts at all throughout all this stuff. I mean, poor ABC here still trying to find a broker. Like, you know, you don't need to be super technical, and this doesn't need to become your life in order for you to make money in the market. And that's why I made this project, and that's why I'm so grateful that all these guys and girls were willing to participate, because it shows, again, it's not just me doing this. Like, these are people next to you. These are your friends. These are your, you know, your Discord buddies. All right. And it's also been 100% transparent from the start for all these guys. It's not just like me and my stuff. I mean, I share my portfolio and stuff, but it's not just just my stuff that you're seeing. You're seeing all their stuff. So if you go back to the spreadsheet here, like, click on BebNet here, you can see exactly how many shares of Tesla he's had. You can see how many shares of Clip he's had. You can see how many shares of JEPQ and Hormel he's had. If you look at someone like Matster here, you know, this guy logs his contributions and his dividends. So if we go all the way over here, you can see every dollar he's got in his portfolio is accounted for. He's trading futures. He's recording his notes every week about, you know, things that have maybe influenced his trading, or maybe some things he needs to improve on. You know, it's insane that, you know, he's tracking all his dividend payments as well every week. Does that mean you need 57K to get to that level? No, absolutely not. You got Snowflake started with $50. I mean, that's the whole thing. It's like, this is not a paid product. I'm not pitching a product. I don't need anyone to to, you know, fall into a cycle of trust or anything like that. I just need you guys to understand that there's a better way to trade in the market and to make money. And, you know, if you want to go out and get paid products on top of that, you can. And I absolutely recommend PBAlerts, you know, the premium section, if you guys are interested in that. But it's not a requirement to survive in the market. That builds beyond survival. Stocks Buddy, same thing. I'm not pitching products here. If you want to trade and you have trouble with confirmations or knowing when to stop out of a trade or just need a little bit of help or confirmation, it's there for you. It builds on top of this stuff pretty easily, might I add. You know, it's another clean mechanical thing that you can put in place. Like the premium, for example, they just started doing the coaching thing. So if you were to take an approach like this for the bulk of your money, and then use the speculation for what they're teaching one-on-one for that individual analyst, for example, you know, that 30% of your portfolio or whatever ratio you're using becomes much more potent. And then you don't have that gap that, you know, I can show you like a bullish engulfing candle and I can show you all the technical analysis stuff, but I don't want that to be the focus of this project, because this project focuses mostly on saving and growing without needing to use speculation. So if you want to add in speculation on top of that and you need a coach, they're perfect for it. That's what they do. Like, they're not so focused on this stuff because they rely on speculation. So you get the best of both worlds here. This part of it is just free. So this is the kind of the foundation. This is slow. Obviously, it's not as shiny. And it's not as engaging. Like, it's not as entertaining. Okay. But it is very consistent. It's very stable. And it helps you learn the skills that you need to just manage your money, basically. So if you're struggling and you're just using speculation, consider this too. And if you're using just this and you want to go faster, you want to go farther, consider the speculation. And just, it's all about just making both sides as efficient as possible, but prioritizing this stuff and the passive income and the growth so that you don't lose all your money trying to figure out the speculation side, and vice versa, right? You want to make money, so you don't want to completely neglect speculation. So it's just a balance. So I'll end this episode here. I just wanted to take a special little inventory here and just kind of let the team members get some attention, because they've put a lot of effort and commitment from their trading. I know it takes a lot of discipline to go from, you know, trade to slow down, you know? So I want to thank them all and just let them know that I'm very proud of them, because it's obviously a drastic change going from a red portfolio to a green portfolio. It's good stuff. So thank you all. And especially thank you for leading by example. So now other people can watch this episode and they can look back and, you know, go to episode 1 and just start on their own little journey. And that's another important thing I want to touch on really quick. There's like 80 episodes of this. You guys don't have to catch up. Like, if you're watching this episode right now, you can stop this video right now, go all the way back to episode 1, start fresh, your own journey. You can always ask us questions. We're here, but we don't want you to feel like you have to catch up just for the sake of catching up. Okay. This is a conceptual process. So I'm walking you through my literal execution, but I'm also teaching you the concepts along the way, and they scale. So if you start off with the earlier episodes, you're going to do better than if you just try to watch from here on. Okay. So that's why I want to make it very clear that you don't need to watch all the episodes right now. Okay. So I get a lot of questions about that stuff. I'm like, I don't have enough time to catch up. It's like, yes, you do. Just catch up to where you should be. Don't try to catch up to where we're at now. You'll get there. Just do one episode at a time. Just go nice and slow. It's free. There's no rush. You don't have to, you don't have to pay for a subscription just to watch these videos. They're free. So the Discord's free too. So when you come into the Discord, you're in the Rags to Riches channel. That section is free. You won't be able to access or to type in the Rags to Riches team chat. That's just for the team members, but there's a questions and answers channel you can get into. So you don't need to be in premium for this. But again, premium's got a whole bunch of other goodies, so I wouldn't discredit that. I'm just, just for this piece of it, you don't need anything. So just go at your own pace. That's what I'm trying to say. All right, I'm going to end this episode finally because I'm rambling, and I will catch you guys next time. Everybody enjoy your weekend and be safe next week. Bye.